Have you ever held it together for so long, and then the moment that someone was kind to you, or they asked you how you were doing, or if you were really okay, and then you just started crying? Maybe you didn't even know why. You had just been bottling so much up for so long. And it may not have been anything dramatic. No one said anything harsh, nothing bad happened, but suddenly your chest tightened and your eyes welled up, and everything that you had been holding back started to spill over. If that sounds familiar, today's episode is going to be for you. We are talking about why that happens, why those tears often show up, not necessarily when things are falling apart, but when they're finally starting to get calm. And why it's a sign that you're not broken, why it's a sign of healing. So let's unpack this together. Here's the first thing that I want you to hear. Crying when you feel safe is not a breakdown. It is a release. Your nervous system is shifting out of that survival mode, out of that hyper alert, high stress state, and finally starting to feel safe enough to let go. Your body is incredibly brilliant, and when things are overwhelming, when you're in danger or you're being emotionally neglected or just trying to get through the day in one piece, it learns to store emotion. It tucks it away, not because you didn't feel anything, but because it wasn't safe to feel it fully at the time. And that crying takes vulnerability. But when you're in survival mode, vulnerability is a risk that your body can't afford. So instead, your system clamps down. You stay busy, you shut off, you move on. But your body remembers. Your subconscious mind remembers. And when you finally arrive in a space or a moment that feels safe enough, a soft word, a familiar face, a quiet evening, your body recognizes it and knows. And in that moment, you are no longer fighting, fleeing, or freezing. You are releasing. You're letting go of everything that you've been holding together with duct tape and willpower. In nervous system terms, this is a ventral vagal response. So this is the part of your autonomic nervous system that governs rest, digest, healing, and connection. It is that healing state that we talk about. The state that says, hey, you're safe now. And when you shift into that state after spending so much time bracing for impact, your body might respond with tears. Because it's like your body has been holding its breath. And someone finally said, hey, it's okay now. And you exhale through all of those tears. So let's break this down from theory into real life. Because honestly, most of us don't even realize what we've been holding back or that we've been holding back until something cracks us open. So maybe it's a hug that lasts a little bit longer than usual. Or a friend saying, hey, you don't have to hold it all. Or saying, hey, I know something's going on. What's wrong? Talk to me. Maybe you heard someone else say out loud the thing that you've been silently carrying for years. And suddenly there they are. The tears right on cue. Other times it's more subtle. You're lying in bed after a really long day. Everything is quiet. Your body's tired. Your to-do list is done, or at least set aside. And you breathe. And out of nowhere, your chest tightens. Your throat catches. You cry. Not because something's wrong, but because something in you softened. I've had women cry after massages, adjustments, breath work, or in the middle of prayer, EFT, or meditation. And I've seen clients weep during our very first session, not because anything that I said was magical, but because it was the first time that they had felt seen and heard in a very long time. And this happens very often in my work. And almost every time their first response is to immediately apologize. They'll say, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm crying. This is stupid. I'm overreacting. This is embarrassing. I didn't expect this. And I always tell them the same thing. Of course you're crying. This is the first time that you felt safe enough to. And it's not weakness or an instability, and you're not backsliding. Your body is recognizing safety and responding the only way that it knows how. And that is with release. I can remember when this happened to me a couple of years ago, and it was in a group setting, and we were talking about progress that we had made over the last week, and it was my turn to share, and I started sobbing because I had taken a bubble bath for the first time in over a year. I was limited to showers, relatively like lukewarm to cold showers because I had POTS and was recovering from long COVID and some other chronic illnesses that came along, and I couldn't tolerate heat. I hadn't even realized how long I was holding all of that in. I hadn't even realized that that was something that really upset me until I was able to do it again. I was keeping all of this together, trying to pretend like I didn't need any help and I could do it on my own. But in that moment, all of that armor, all of my defenses, my guard was down. It was gone. And I was crying in front of people. And that was something that I never did. And at the time, I felt extremely embarrassed, like I had lost control and I was apologizing. But looking back on it now, I see it for what it was. That was a sign that I was finally safe enough to feel. So if that is you, if you've had these moments and you've wondered what was wrong with you, please hear me when I say nothing is wrong with you. Your body, your nervous system found a little pocket of safety, and it used that to let something go. And that's what healing feels like sometimes, right? It's messy, it can be unannounced, spontaneous, sometimes even inconvenient, but it's honest and it's good, and it deserves to be honored in that moment. So now that we understand why those tears come, let's talk about what to do when they come. Because sometimes, even when we know that it's normal, it can feel disorienting. Like you don't know what to do with yourself after the crying starts. So I want to give you a handful of really simple, nervous system safe ways to support yourself when this kind of emotional release shows up. And none of these require a big explanation or really deep, extensive healing work. They're quick, quiet, accessible, and very gentle. And they speak directly to the part of you that needs to feel safe again. So, firstly, you can lay on the floor under a ceiling fan. That's it, nothing fancy. Just lie on the floor under a fan, turn it on high, and let that cool air and the breeze move across your skin. And when you're there, I want you to engage your senses. Feel your hair blowing. Feel your clothes if they move. If the blanket rustles a bit, notice everything. Notice your whole backside sinking further and further into the floor. Feel the temperature of the air shift as the fan moves. Feel your back supported. This is one of my go-to resets when I feel like my system is buzzing or like I've been turned on for way too long. So sometimes we don't need extra stimulation or movement or doing. We just need to exist without performing, without fixing or explaining, and just be human, right? Just lie on the earth and just be a body existing. For me, I also like to let my cat curl up on my lap and just feel them breathe. So if you have a pet, they can be one of the most powerful co-regulators available to you. Animals don't ask questions, right? They don't rush your healing process. They don't judge you. They don't expect you to smile or to explain. They just are, right? Present, calm, and embodied. And that's what we're looking for when we want to regulate. So when those tears come and you don't know what to do next, sit with them. Let your cat or your dog or whatever pet you have climb into your lap and rest their head on your knee, and just don't overthink it. Rest your hand on their rib cage, feel them breathing in and out, and just feel that rhythm, right? Feel the simplicity, the rise and fall of their breath. You can also just quickly go to the bathroom or the kitchen and run warm water over your hands. Now, I know it sounds a little weird, but hear me out. Warm water is one of the simplest ways to gently stimulate the vagus nerve and offer a cue of safety. And I know we talk a lot about cold water and ice baths and splashing your face with, ice water. But we're wanting to take a really gentle approach to ground you. So you don't need the cool water. You don't need a big bathtub. You don't need a cold shower. Just go into a bathroom or a kitchen, wherever you have a sink. Relax. Turn the faucet on with warm water and place your hands under it for at least 60 seconds. And just let that warmth sink into your skin. Let it anchor you and ground you. And just be there in a very ordinary, mundane moment, letting it remind you that nothing needs to be fixed. Another one of my favorites is to toss a blanket in the dryer, pull it out a few minutes later, and lay it on my chest. So warm laundry, you can take a towel or clothes if you don't have a blanket in there. Warm laundry on the chest can activate pressure receptors and offer a similar way of grounding that we get from a hug or that comforting feeling that we get from a weighted blanket. So that warmth and that pressure, the smell of the clean clothes, all of that is sensory reassurance, right? It's telling the nervous system, telling the body, you are safe, you are grounded, you can hold yourself like this, everything's going to be okay. And you don't have to have anyone there to help you in that moment. You know, this is something that you can use if no one else is home, if you don't have access to other help. And it's free, cheap, fast, easy. So if you've ever felt like those tears come out of absolutely nowhere, or that they set you back by sending you into a flare-up, consider something a bit softer. Give yourself some grace. What if they are not a setback at all? What if they're a signpost? Your nervous system is incredibly adaptive. It is designed to protect you. And when it's been in that survival mode, when you've been bracing, performing, people-pleasing, pushing through that discomfort and pain, it doesn't always know what to do with softness. That safety, that pause, all of that can feel foreign, right? That calm, relaxing moment can feel like a trap. It can make you more restless because it feels dangerous. So when your body starts to cry during all of the calm moments, those safe moments, those moments of safety, it's not dysfunction. That is integration. That is forward movement. It means that you are accessing a deeper layer of safety, one that your nervous system didn't have access to before. So when this happens, you might not feel better right away. You might even feel more emotional. Like I said, you may feel like you're in a flare-up. Maybe you get some aches and pains and some fatigue afterwards from all of the adrenaline. But underneath, that is progress. You are increasing that window of tolerance. You're not suppressing anymore, right? You're not bottling it up. You're releasing. You're allowing your body to handle more, to move forward even further. And that is what healing looks like, right? It's not linear. It's not tidy. It's not always going to be some really big breakthrough where all of a sudden you can go out and socialize 2 days after you were bedridden for a year. A lot of it looks like softening where you used to brace. Trusting your body even when it surprises you. So let your emotions speak. Let your body speak, even if it doesn't come with words. And the more that you support your body and your nervous system in those moments, like we talked about earlier, the more your body learns it's okay, it's safe enough to feel, I don't have to shut down anymore. And that's the kind of healing that we walk through inside the nervous system healing code, layer by layer. Body, mind, and spirit all included, because you are not just a brain with symptoms. You are not just a machine with parts. You are a whole person with a whole story, and you deserve healing that honors all of you. So if this episode stirred something in you, if you have cried when you finally felt safe, I want to say that that is not weakness. Your body knew what it was doing. That is absolutely wisdom. And if you want support that meets you in those exact moments, come join our free community space, The Garden, at bloominwell.com/community. You will find gentle tools, weekly prompts, and other women who get it, who understand, who have been there, who can help support you, who can share their wins and help you to move through those moments of frustration where you feel like you're getting set back. Or if you're ready for structured guidance with deeper healing, you can explore the full nervous system healing code at bloominwell.com/nervous system healing code. You do not have to do this alone. You never did. We'll see you there.